is white nationalism. There's no room for hatred on this campus.
Do you not think these children have suffered enough?
But you're assuming there's children there.
You're being a f***ing asshole. You don't belong here, and you need to get the f*** out of here.
The whole lie of the 215 bodies needs to be exposed for what it is.
Where's your consent form?
I'm a white person with a lot of white privilege.
Oh, this works for Rebel News!
I lost my job for saying the truth, which is the kids died from disease.
They're no longer saying bodies. Do you think that's important? Our boulders?
We have nothing but good in this country, and you're ruining it.
If you take millions of tax dollars to do something and you don't, I report on it. 4 years ago, on May 27th, 2021, the world looked at Canada in a different way after the Kamloops van put out the false claim that they had discovered the remains of 215 children at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. Now, many of you watching us know that that's not true, and neither are all of the other claims where bands have said similar things about discoveries that never were. And today, right behind me, is a scene you don't see very often taking place in Kamloops Thompson River University. Today, Dr. Francis Widdowson, who is behind the documentary What Remains, has showed here to shed light on those false claims and to challenge university students to actually think and not be offended of the truth. I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, who traveled here to cover what happened here today for you, and I had to do so safely. In case you missed it, recently Dr. Francis Widdowson did something very similar in Winnipeg at a university and was treated like this.
Your followers are hurting these people. They're attacking people. You need to leave. Walk her off the ground. Walk her off the ground. You need to leave. Walk her off the ground. Walk her off the ground. Hey, walk her off.
So to be your eyes and ears here during this important discussion about Canadian history, especially in a time where reconciliation overreach has turned into excusing Aboriginal title in Richmond, BC, I have security guards with me to keep me safe. If you want to chip in to help cover those expenses, you can do so by donating what you can at our special website called kamloopsdocumentary.com. I should also let you know that accompanied with Dr. Widdowson is one BC leader, Dallas Brody, as well as her House leader, Tara Armstrong. They have been strong advocates for the truth on this issue, even coming up with their own documentary, which will be released in just a couple of weeks, called Making a Killing. We will be covering that release as well. They're here, as is one of their recent announced candidates, who is a former teacher in Abbotsford. His name is Jim McMurtry. Here's how some of the discussion went.
There's a billion kids buried in the apple orchard in Kamloops. Believe that. Yes, unless you ask yourself for evidence.
Coming here and saying this. What is
You lost your job, you said?
I lost my job for saying the truth, which is the kids died from disease.
You told them what your...
That was an opinion. Your own opinion.
No, it was what my
You got fired because
professors-
the parents probably thought that their kids probably shouldn't be
wasn't
learning
the parents who fired
Okay, the teachers, or the principal, the high board office, whatever. They fired you.
Yeah.
The truth is that people are not looking at the evidence very much with respect to this claim. And what you did, I'll just, in terms of my understanding of what you are doing, is you're deflecting the conversation into other kind of issues.
I am,
Yeah.
because there's an underlying issue to this. It's not just about the 215 children. Residential school has affected thousands of Indigenous people, and coming at it and trying to act like we're lying over
I'm
the
not saying you're
abuse.
lying at all. Thompson Rivers University sent me a trespass notice on October 15th of this year after Simon, Kathy Drake, and myself did a Spectrum Street epistemology session on the remains of 215 children, that claim, and it was a wonderful event. Jenna, who participated, Hal, who participated, we all agreed at the end that excavations were needed at the Kamloops Indian Residential School to figure out the truth with respect to the matter. And because Thompson Rivers University sent me that trespass notice and said that only authorized discussions can take place, I said I've got to come back to this university.
Kamloops band received $12.1 million earmarked to be digging.
Kamloops band, but okay.
Well, okay. I grew up in a different era.
I know. At least if we're going to talk about these communities, let's talk about them and use their correct name.
Well, they still call it the Kamloops Indian Residential School on their materials.
Mm-hmm.
So the Kamloops band received $12.1 million from the federal government to dig, and they didn't use it for that, and the money's gone.
That's your taxpayer dollars.
That's not okay.
The whole lie of the 215 bodies needs to be exposed for what it is, because Canada has suffered under this accusation for too long, and also to just spark some conversation, which is happening.
We stand for
What's the truth?
The truth is that this is Nazism. This is white nationalism. There's no room for hatred on this campus. They need to get off this land.
Residential school survivors, they lived through it. They lived through trauma. They're standing here today because of their resilience, and all of this is disrespecting everything that they experienced.
What did he say that was hateful?
He is against anti-racism. He is against transgender rights. He's against Indigenous sovereignty, safety. We're not standing for this.
Did he say something like that here?
Oh, I know all about it. Just look it up online.
What do you make of their claim that there are not 215 bodies at least proven to be discovered at the Kamloops Indian Residential School?
I think it's disgusting that they keep asking to see a body.
That's enough. People do not need to be murdered.
Do you have evidence of that?
Tell their culture.
Do you have evidence of that?
Yes, we do have evidence of that. Talk to any person here. Go to the residential school. Why? Because you're being a asshole. You don't belong here, and you need to get the out of here. You have your own personal agenda.
This is a public institution. So
it is a public institution. And guess what? You're losing the battle. Leave. You have no business being here. It's a public institution. This is a university. This is a place of higher learning where people care about one another. Okay? It's not about you.
This.
Show some.
I'm 70 years old. All we're trying to do is get to the
Don't stand there yelling at someone when you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
What do you
don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm
No, you don't.
pushing people for. Yes, I'll get you signed.
Thank you. Thank you.
You said that your mom worked at the school, so you know about the trauma and things like that.
I have Indigenous students.
Right. So the band itself, though, is saying something different. They're saying 200 probable anomalies.
Anomalies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're no longer saying bodies.
So what
do you think that's important?
Our boulders?
Well, they don't know what they are. They're no longer saying bodies.
Should it be dug up?
They took $12 million to dig them up.
Well, then that's with the band. That's not here with us at TRU. So why?
I just want you right now, the next time somebody says there was a child murder in residential school in Canada, ask for evidence.
No,
If you've done that,
That's your view.
There's lots of evidence.
you can't do that. I said my father was a judge. He can't convict somebody, send someone away to jail
Nobody's trying to
without
convict
evidence.
anybody.
Right? You can't do that in Canada.
So I guess my question is to you, for caring about trauma, and I do too, do you think it's bad news or good news that there might not be 215 murdered children's
Well, of course it
remains
would be
there?
good news if it wasn't. If there weren't, but we can't sit here and just make these kind of bold claims.
They're not being taught these things. It's not even allowed to be introduced in their classrooms. And they have been taught over and over again about this as a form of indoctrination. And it's gone too far. And it's really hard to, when you've been told something over and over again, to have someone hit you with something true. It's almost frightening.
The narrative by mainstream media has been that these graves have been uncovered. And you and I both know that that's not the case. So I think that's why these events and coming here and speaking to these people is even more important, because we're able to actually share with them these facts, Drea.
So the question is, are there 215 children who were buried clandestinely at the Kamloops Senior Residential School?
And what do you think the solution is? To dig up the dead bodies?
Yes.
Do you not think these children have suffered enough?
But you're assuming there's children there.
We have nothing but good in this country, and you're ruining it. Yes, we do. What are you doing here? You're here for That's bullshit. Yeah, right. Because you guys are twisted.
And you're pushing us.
So you keep saying I'm assuming these bodies have been found, but you're assuming that the bands are misusing this money and they're not actually bodies. So we're all assuming things then, right?
Money was spent on consultants.
We also know that there's money that was earmarked for this that was never used for this. So let's get to the bottom of it then, and let's use that money that was already provided.
Okay, if you want to investigate what is happening with the money, but I don't understand why you have to do it in this format. You are upsetting people.
Even if I was wrong, I shouldn't have been fired. But in this case, I was right. There's no evidence. So you're saying 215, and you know that no one's going to ever dig there. Never.
Do you think?
It's not your land to go and dig up.
It doesn't matter. You can't say people murdered children.
Hi, I saw your sign.
I'm not talking to you.
Who's a fascist here?
None of us are interested.
You speak for her?
Please leave. None of us.
Okay, so you're not interested, but I'll still do my job. Who's the fascist here? I'm just curious.
You don't know.
No? No? Nothing to say? Sometimes I wonder if people know what the word fascism means. I mean, because when you want to shut out people from speaking, that sounds pretty fascist to me.
So the issue is, are there 215 bodies there?
Because the issue is bigger than this, and the fact that you cannot see that, I think, is the problem here. And that's my problem with this.
The traditional sundance? Do you know how it works?
Are you seriously asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking. Do you know how it works? Do you know what it is?
I'm not having this conversation.
3 things can't be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And that's what we're fighting for, is the truth.
You are not using the traditional Sundance dance. Yeah,
do you know what it is?
Do you think we are closer to reconciliation or further from it since those claims were made?
I like to think that we are closer to reconciliation, but when this kind of stuff goes on, I feel that it takes us 2 steps backwards.
All those kids who never came home have to be somewhere.
Except you can simply look yourself at how many kids were reported missing. It's nowhere near 215. And the records of how they went missing are there. There were some kids that drowned. Like, nobody's even doing the research. You guys are all just looking at headlines.
Sorry,
Hi.
I just wanted to ask what publication you work for.
Rebel News.
Rebel.
Oh! Oh! This works for Rebel News!
Okay.
Boo!
I said, what, am I dehumanized? Am I dehumanized all of a sudden?
No, I'm sorry. You could have told me you're from Rebel News. I wouldn't have spoken.
He asked,
What are your interests in truth and reconciliation?
The truth.
What kinds of things do you do to decolonize and to promote decolonization?
I report on government overreach, and bad governments are not exempt. So if you take millions of tax dollars to do something and you don't, I report on it.
So what about the unceded land that we're on right now, and that the Indigenous people in this area haven't been compensated for?
Well, we can talk about that too, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the false claim that was made in 2021 that the remains of 215 children.
It's not true. It's not
the
false.
band itself admits that's no longer the claim.
As you just mentioned, like, the band is not exempt from what you're reporting on.
So why did you just tell me that claim wasn't false? What grounds do you have?
The band doesn't represent all the Indigenous people in the nation, and the banding council system is a colonial implementation.
Well, no, you know what know who I trust? Historians. And so when I made my can I respond to that? So when I responded, can you just listen for a second?
No, you got to let other people talk.
You're listening.
You're walking around here just yelling out your random
you don't have any. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the knowledge.
You have the internet.
University is supposed to be a marketplace of ideas, right, where you get a lot of different views being expressed, and that's not happening anymore, Drea, at our schools. And we believe that if you're not going to allow freedom of speech, marketplace of ideas at these universities, this public funding has to stop.
They are being subjected to propaganda from the various Aboriginal activists who have taken control over this university. Sorry, the Aboriginal industry associates as well. They have law professors here who are engaged in land claims negotiations, and all these kinds of false claims are very, very important in terms of pushing through various aspects of the Aboriginal industry. And so students are not being encouraged to think critically.
No, I'm not doing an interview for Rebel News.
Okay.
I think news is a very loose
Where's your
term.
consent form?
There's no such thing in Canada. It's a free country. We're in a public place. That's why this is all happening. You know what? When I went to university, too long to mention on camera ago, it was great to have conversations like it. You guys seem like genuinely scared and angry about it. Why is that?
Because it is scary and we are angry.
Why is it scary to talk to someone you might disagree with?
Because, no, it's not that we are scared to talk to people that we disagree with, because we talk to people that we disagree with all the time in a proper medium.
You all know there are no bodies in Kamloops. You know that all this exercise at this university about how terrible Canada was is all wrong.
Did you know that there's at least 4 other bands that have excavated? They thought there were unmarked graves, and when they dug, they found nothing?
I don't think that's relevant to the fact that there was bodies found in Kamloops.
Did you know they never dug, and that it's impossible to make the claim with ground-penetrating radar?
I think it sounds like your questions are starting to side with one of these opinions.
Actually, I'm actually quoting them when I say they no longer call it bodies at the band, they call them anomalies.
Okay, my apologies. Well, when it comes down to it, I'm a white person with a lot of white privilege. It's not my part to say what happened in residential schools in the sense of that's not my experience, but I will listen and stand with Indigenous voices.
How many to Kamloops residential school survivors have you interviewed?
I haven't interviewed. I tried to interview many, but none would.
So you haven't actually spoken to the actual people that were there.
I've listened to their testimonies.
Because a lot of this history isn't written down. It's a lot of oral history, and a lot of that oral history documents verbally how many children were killed or died on these residential schools all across Canada.
I have interviewed some that attended there. Do you have a question for me, given that I have, but I also think the truth should come out about what's there?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I'll just tell you one thing. When I did interview them, none of them, although they had gone there between 11 and 14 years, had ever heard that there were unmarked graves until 2021 of May. Does that seem weird that they went there for so many years? They met their spouses there.
I'm not sure who you interviewed. I can't speak on that. Sorry.
Well, you asked about residential school survivors.
I did, and I asked her how many people she interviewed.
Well, I'm a journalist. She's a professor, so I interview people, and I have interviewed people. I even interviewed the chief, too. And did you know the chief no longer says that there are 215 remains there?
They never said any. Actually, there's the media that says that.
No, sir, did you want me to show you their claim on May 27th of 2021? They said the kids were as young as 3 years old, detected by ground-penetrating radar. So you're defending a claim that they no longer make. Why?
I'm not defending any claim.
Okay, well, I spoke to people who attended there for many years.
I don't know who you spoke to, so I'm sorry. I'm not.
Well, then why did you ask the question?
I didn't ask it of you. I asked it of her.
Okay, but I'm a journalist. I ask questions. She's a...
Residential schools took almost 100% Indigenous kids. So that's why we're saying it about that.
First, more than anything, because the parents wanted them there because they wanted their kid to have an education. They wanted their kids there to have an education.
They were taken out of the Some were taken.
Very few cases of that. And again, I'm saying that
happened, right?
With their orphans, or they were being abused at home, or they didn't have the necessities of life.
If they were to use the $12 million they were given to dig like they were supposed to, and they found there were no bodies, do you think white Canadians deserve to know that? And do you think that's good news?
I'm going going to be honest, I don't think that I can comprehend that question right now because I have so many feelings about what's happening. I'm really angry, and I don't think I can answer it with a clear head right now.
Sure. The RCMP has come out saying they've done an 8-year-long investigation and found no evidence of mass murder or anything like that. If it's true that there are not 215 bodies, consistent with the other bands that have dug, what does that mean for the claims that residential schools were genocide?
I think I'm going to stop answering these questions.
Okay, I appreciate talking with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think you saw and got a taste for what was happening here. Let me know in the comments. I will take a look through. I am very interested to see what you thought about what took place here today. Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. At Rebel News, we aren't afraid to bring you the other side of the story, no matter what name somebody hurls at us for doing so. If you appreciate our boots on the ground reporting that doesn't take a penny from the government like 95% of the media, consider chipping in to help my expenses today to have security to keep me safe by donating what you can at kamloopsdocumentary.com. We appreciate your support.